Hey guys, today is a very exciting day because we just got an email from the university saying that the final exam marks for year one of our Doctor of Medicine program has just been released. So I'm just going to do a quick reaction video. Gosh, I'm very excited. I haven't been this excited or nervous since my GAMSAT scores came out. So let's have a quick look. Okay, I'm on the page now. And the first exam that I see is the histopathology exam, which is not a compulsory pass, which is good. So this exam is scored out of 50, and I got 37.5 for that one. I'm quite happy with that result actually. I think that's about what I was expecting. So let's move on. This is 5% of the whole year, so shouldn't worry too much. And the next one I see is this DHC exam, or what we call Doctor and Health in the Community. This is a must pass. I believe the passing mark is 60%. So for that one, I got 67 out of 80. Okay, so that's a very safe pass. This is actually one of the more worrying exam I had actually. So I'm very happy that I passed that one. Well done, Kenny. And the main one I see next is the multiple choice exam for our DKHR stream, which is Doctor and the Knowledge of Health and Illness. This is a must pass as well. It's 65% pass, and I have scored 168 out of 200, and that would that be a 70 something? Wait, 80. Oh, that's actually quite good, eh? That's 83%, isn't it? Yeah, that's 83%. Oh, well done. Oh my God, that's so good. Yeah, I'm so happy. Oh, okay, well, moving on. The next one is the anatomy exam. So for this anatomy exam, we have to actually go into the wet lab, and there is like 45 stations, which each station having three questions to answer. Most of them are like they pin a structure, and you have to name the structure and like talk about its clinical relevance. Yeah, it's like a short answer exam. It was actually pretty nerve-wracking, but the good thing is they didn't make that exam too difficult. So for this one, I think everybody did really well, and I got 93 out of 100. That sounds ridiculous, but I think the most important thing about this exam is that if you do really well, you get to be a tutor for the next first years. So I don't know if that's enough to warrant a tutor position. We'll find out soon. Okay, and that leaves the last one, which is a written assignment, an essay for our D lab, which is I can never remember this one, doctor and the doctor and legal ethical practice, professional practice or something. I sorry, it's just escaped my mind. But for this one is I got 40 out of 50. And considering I only handed in that assignment 2 minutes to deadline, I'm quite happy. Overall, I think I did really well. Congratulations to myself, and well done for passing year one. Okay, see you guys again. Bye bye. So I also wanted to just briefly talk about my experience of first year in medical school and how you guys can prepare to go into first year if you've secured your offer to start next year or when you eventually get an offer to start in medical school. I guess the first thing I wanted to say was that first year med is mostly scary because you don't know what to expect. Yeah, I mean, you go into this completely new role of a medical student, and there's a lot of pressure on yourself or from friends and family, and you just want to do well, and not knowing what a level is good enough is actually quite scary. And a lot of times, people fall into the trap of the imposter syndrome. And yeah, I just want to reassure to you guys that first year is not that scary. Okay, so just enjoy. Yeah, a lot of I've heard this so many times from later years, second years, third years. Just enjoy first year. You will be fine. Yeah, it's not the hardest year of medical school. I heard that third year because you have to juggle between clinical rotations as well as the learning content. Third years tend to be the hardest year of medical school. And in terms of the content, well, I quite liked how our medical school managed things. So in first semester, we did a introduction to medical science, where we got a little taste of a bit of everything, really. So we did a little bit of cardiology, we did a little bit of hematology, um, and of course your communication skills, procedure skills, doing injections, talking to simulated patients. We learn about um, public health as well, like the health gap between the indigenous people and the rest of the Australian population. Also learned a bit about medical law and ethics, consent and the four principles of healthcare and all that. Yeah, so it is quite a fun journey, and um, yeah, as I said before, the first semester was just pretty much an introduction, but in second year we go into three major systems of the human body. So these are your cardiovascular system, your respiratory system, and last but not least, your gastrointestinal system. Um, and yeah, the content gets a lot heavier in second semester, and it was like what everybody says. They open the fire hydrant, and you just drink whatever they give you. And yeah, so it was a bit scary, especially when I remember when GI block started, gastrointestinal block started. There was like so many things you need to remember, because if you think about the cardiology, that's like one organ, the heart, and the blood vessels, which is a handful to remember, but it was manageable. And respiratory, it was just your lungs and your pulmonary arteries, your trachea and bronchus, and that was okay too. But GI, that's like eight organs, all at the same time. You got your foregut, midgut, hindgut. We also covered the inguinal canal for some reason, and your abdominal walls and muscles and bones and nerves. That's also when they decide that nerves will join the party. Yeah, so it was scary, but now that I think back on it, and just thinking about um, how I was able to study, well, cram basically before the exam and still do quite well in the exams. I just think that maybe I shouldn't have worried too much, and I think that as long as you keep it consistent and make sure you study well before the exams, passing should not be too difficult. Yeah, the few instances where I heard people were struggling are mostly because like people are dealing with things in their life that's outside of their control, or they haven't studied for so long, and like it's hard to convert your brain to that learning mode, which I did also have problem with because I haven't really started before the start of medical school in for like 3 years, I think. Yeah, 2 3 years. Um, and but yeah, I gave myself like 2 months, and I think my brain was getting up to speed. And but in saying that, a lot of us mature age students, we were really jealous of the medical science students, like the kids. They came straight from 2 years of learning about medical science, as the name suggests. And for them, it was like really easy, stepping up into that role of being a first year medical student. So if that's you, I'm jealous. And yeah, but don't be cocky. We catch up. We oldies, we catch up too. And yeah, so how you should prepare, I guess, spend some time on anatomy, especially like the cardiovascular system, your chambers of the heart, relational anatomy of the heart, all the major arteries and veins of the body. That's always high yield. And respiratory system, yeah, look into that. You know, your lobes of the lungs, whereabouts it sits in your chest cavity, and have a look at chest X-rays. Just know the basics, and also the same goes for ECGs, electrocardiograms. Look into that. So yeah, how you interpret your different waves, and how you would what was a 12 lead ECG, and what major pathologies, especially myocardial infarctions, how do they present on a ECG. And what else? I think the communication side of things, you shouldn't worry too much because they do quite a good job of teaching you how to talk to patients. And you shouldn't worry too much about like medical law and ethics and public health. They also teach you that as you go along. Um, what else did you know? Know a bit about histopathology. So like your different cells, what do they look like your red blood cells, your white blood cells, your neutrophils, your basophils, you know. And I guess learn a bit about pharmacology, you know, how drugs work, what common drugs we'll use, like your Panadol, your paracetamol, your Nurofen, like all these are just what we call NSAIDs, and yeah, your painkillers, your blood thinners, your what else are there? Your high blood pressure, hypertension drugs. Yeah, you know, only the just to get a brief summary of how things go. You can watch videos online. YouTube has a lot of good content, and you can also. There's another thing I wanted to mention. Um, what was it? So yeah, I can't remember for now. Yeah, I think those are the main things that you need to know before you get into this journey of being a medical student. And yeah, well, wherever you are in your journey and in your preparations, I wish you the best of luck. And thanks for watching another video from me. I will try to upload more often in the future. All right, thanks very much.